Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the new 2014 Ninja Turtles Leonardo from Playmates Toys. Let's move right along with our look at the brand new movie versions of the TMNT. As you can see, Leonardo comes on that brand new Ninja Turtles movie blister card packaging, featuring those bright, vibrant green colors and the new Ninja Turtles movie logo across the top. And you've got those images of the turtles from the film running down the side of the package, with Leonardo being featured on the corner of the blister bubble, making all of the card backs slightly different for each of the four turtles. And then flipping it around to the backside, it's the same as all of the other figures, featuring a description of the movie up at the top, and a view at a selection of the new movie figures down below. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at Leonardo outside of the packaging. Now again, I do feel that the brand new movie versions of the Turtles translate really well into action figure form. Overall, I think the sculpt on this guy is really good, and he features a really nice paint job to boot. So let's go ahead and start with the head there. You'll notice that he's wearing sort of the standard bandana that only wraps around his eyes. Raphael has one that wraps all the way across his head, so Leonardo has definitely got the more traditional look here. He's also got the straight white eyes instead of having the pupils like we see in the movie. I actually prefer the whited out eyes though, as I do think they look really cool this way. He does have the two kind of tie parts of the blue bandana hanging off of either side of the head, and they're kind of sticking straight out. It would look a little bit better if they were hanging a little bit lower and kind of resting across his shoulders. In this form, it almost looks a little bit like he's got pigtails. I mean, it's not quite that bad, but it is a little noticeable in some of the poses. He's got a lot of different details going on here. You'll notice he's got some sort of scarf type thing that's hanging around his neck, which is a separate piece, so it is movable. Kind of flex it around there. He's got a sash going across his chest, and he's also wearing some sort of armor. You can see he's got like this silver kind of armor that's going across his chest. It's very Rufio looking, from the old Hook movie. That's what it reminds me of when I look at it. He's also got not just a standard Ninja Turtles belt going across his waist, but also looks like he's wearing some sort of loincloth piece that has some blue flaps hanging down both in the front and along the sides of his legs. Now looking at some of the other details here, you'll see he's got a little kind of shoulder armor there, he's got wraps going across his wrist, and he's also got some wraps and everything going across his thighs, but all of those are unpainted details, so they're the same green color as the rest of his skin. Now, flipping back to the Raphael I looked at, I kind of praised that figure because he didn't have any unpainted details, so it's a bit of a shame to see Leonardo has some unpainted spots on here, but that is something that we see typically on a lot of the Ninja Turtles toys. You'll also notice that Leonardo is wearing full foot covers. He's got brown booty type things on his feet with some light tan wraps kind of wrapping all the way around them. And then flipping him over to the backside, he's got that nice kind of darker brown shell, which has also got some really great detailing on there. And it is a slightly different color from the belt and the sash he's wearing around his waist, which I do really like. And his green skin tone is a bit of a brighter green than what we saw with Raphael's dark green, and it kind of matches with what green color we've seen on some of the past incarnations of Leonardo, specifically the more recent Nick Turtles figure. Alright, so let's go ahead and run down the articulation on this guy. The head's on a joint that allows it to look left and right, but again, since they kind of got that hunched over look, he more just kind of cocks his head left and right rather than looking left and right. He's got ball joints at the arms, so the arms can go upwards, move forwards and backwards, swivels at the elbow, as well as an elbow bend, but no wrist swivels. He's got nothing in the torso or the waist. Then he's got the hinge joints at the thighs, so legs can go outwards, they can move forwards and backwards. He's got swivels at the knee and a standard knee joint, but again, nothing else at the ankle. So the posability isn't bad on this guy, but again, I would have loved to see at least some wrist swivels so that we could get some better poses with his weapons. So speaking of his weapons, of course he includes his signature katana blades. Now, just like we've seen in all past versions of the Ninja Turtles, they're just done in a solid unpainted silver plastic. There are some details, like you can see the little wraps on the handles there, but they're unpainted. They're nicely done though, and you can have them posed in either one of his hands. Again, the lack of the swivels at the wrist is going to hinder the different types of poses you can get, unfortunately. But he does also have a place to store his swords. He's actually the only Ninja Turtle in the new movie line that has a place to store his weapons. He has the little scabbard that clips into a hole in his back, so that is removable. It's a very flexible, soft plastic, so mine actually came out of the package warped, as you can see, but it does just plug right into his back there, and when you slide the swords into it, it kind of straightens it back out. But that way you can put the swords on his back, which is a really nice touch, and I'm glad that he's got a place to store these weapons, because it is a bit of a shame that the rest of the turtles don't have somewhere to store their weapons when not in use. So Leonardo here stands just under 5 inches tall. I mean, he's right about that mark, but you can see when you stand him next to Raphael, Raphael is just a little bit taller than him. Not too much though, they are almost the exact same size. But one of the things you're going to notice as we're looking at the rest of the turtles is they do vary in size just a little bit, just like we saw with the Nick Turtles line, which I really like. So speaking about comparing things, it's comparison time. Here's a look at the new movie Leonardo standing alongside the recent Nick Turtles versions of the character. And here he is standing alongside another movie version of Leonardo, the old movie star Leo. And since there have been so many versions of Leonardo in the past, here he is alongside many of the various Ninja Turtles Leonardo figures. So there you go, guys. There's a look at the brand new 2014 movie Leonardo figure. Overall, this is another figure that I do really like. I feel that these new movie styles of the Turtles, love them or hate them, they still translate really well into action figures. And Leonardo is another really nicely done figure. He's got a few unpainted details on his body there, and I would still really like to see some wrist swivel so he can hold his weapons better, but it's another figure that I really like. I don't like him quite as much as the Raphael, but he's still really nicely done, and if you're a big fan of the character or you like these new movie figures, it's definitely one you should consider picking up and adding to your collection. The new movie TMNT action figures are starting to hit store shelves right now, so happy hunting, and until next time.
Oh.